Hello, hello, and welcome to this episode of Adventures with Flowers TV with me, Kendall Marie Platt. I am a horticultural therapist and space holder for Garden Curious Women, and I am on a mission to get more women gardening as the antidote to burnout. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about how to make sure that your tulips that you've spent money on, that you have spent ages planting to make sure that they come back year after year. It's really tempting, isn't it, to go to the supermarket and grab a bag of tulip bulbs and chuck them in your trolley and plant them. And maybe you get a really nice display that first year, but then the second year you're left thinking, oh, well, they didn't come back. I thought bulbs were meant to come back every year. Now, let me tell you, not all bulbs are created equal. And there's a few things that you can do to make sure that your tulips flower year after year. The first thing then is to buy your bulbs from a reputable supplier. The supplier that I love are called Peter Nyson. They are really, really good. The bulbs are really good quality. If I've ever had any issues, they sort it out. So I would please, if you want to get those tulip bulbs coming back every year, I would recommend buying from them as opposed to doing that supermarket trolley dash. The second thing then, actually, before I dive into that, if you are able to say hi in the comments, then please do. Hi, Hannah and Samantha. Lovely to see you. I have been having a bit of an issue with my lives recently where people are not able to type in the comments. It tells them they have to upgrade in order to comment, which is really frustrating. So if you are able to just put hi in there, just so I know that you are able to, that would be really good. And similarly, if you've got any questions at all while I'm talking about tulips, please do pop them in there and I will do my best to answer them. The second thing then that you need to do in order to give yourself a better chance of having your tulips come back every year is to choose the right bulbs. So there are varieties of tulips that are perennial. That means they come back every year. Not all tulip bulbs are perennial. So I'm going to go through a few of my faves here. If you love a bit of pink, who doesn't? There is Pink Impression. That's a really lovely bright pink. There's Mistress Mystic, which is a really lovely one. And then there's a more kind of purpley one, which is Mystic Van Eyck, I think is how you pronounce it. It's Eijk. So they are kind of quite a traditional shape, all of them, but varying colours of pinks and purples. If actually, no, that's wrong. The Mystic Van Eyck isn't a pink. That's a peachy colour. Ignore me. So those first two are the pinks. The purpley one is Negrita. And then Mystic Van Eyck is a peachy one. And there's another gorgeous peachy one that I love, which is called Artist. And it's not your kind of traditional like tulip shape. It's got kind of like slightly flouncy leaves. It isn't a parrot tulip, but it is a bit more like flouncy and bougie than your traditional shape. So that was a really, really lovely addition. Bear in mind that these fancier varieties will likely sell out sooner rather than later. So get your bulb order in as soon as they start selling bulbs, which is usually around like end of the summer for like a September, October delivery time. If you like a little bit of pink, but you also like a little bit of white, there is a beautiful lily-shaped tulip. So lily tulips are kind of like that, and then they've got you've got the tulip shape, but then they've kind of got like pointed tips of the leaves. Really, really different shape in the border, and they look gorgeous in bouquets as well. So Marilyn is a really lovely one. It's mainly white, and then it's got these like hot pink strips up it. Really, really love that one. And then we also have another lily tulip, which is called Ballerina. And that is a really like bright orange colour. And again, it's got that kind of slightly delicate, those pointed tips on them. So they're really, really beautiful. And if you are a green and white girl, then one of my faves that actually I do still grow in my garden to this day because they add a nice bit of contrast between all the bright colours are spring green. So these are white and green striped tulips. Really, really beautiful. And then my absolute favourite, which I'm going to use as my demo in a minute to show you what else you can do, is Queen of the Night. So these are like a really deep purple. Now, my husband, who is not into gardening at all, every year when these tulips here flower, he's like, what are those tulips? They're so beautiful, because they're like a really almost black purple and quite a like lovely kind of rounded shape. So they are just some varieties. You can do a quick Google search and Google will tell you which varieties of tulips are perennial. But if you are time poor like me and you want to be able to just plant your tulip bulbs and for them to put on a show every year, and you don't want to have to stress about it, then aim for those varieties. The third thing that you can do then is a practical thing. So if, like me, you love to cut your tulips for the house, then what you want to do is to make sure when you are cutting them, hopefully, oh, that's not a very good one. Let me see where there's one that you can actually see. That one there. When you are cutting them, you want to make sure that you are leaving 2 leaves on the plant, because these leaves are what is going to feed the bulb for next year. So if you chop them all off, the bulb is not going to have enough energy next year to flower again. So if you were cutting this one, for example, there's the plant growing out of the ground. You've got 1 leaf there, you've got another leaf there. So that means you would cut that tulip there. So actually, it's not that tall. So what you can do to maximize the height of your tulips is to plant them closer together when you plant the bulbs in the ground. And that will mean that more of them grow nice and tall, straight stems. So you can make sure you leave those 2 leaves on the plant when you cut them to feed the bulb. And then you can still have a nice long tulip stem to put in the bulbs. So that's that. The last tip then I have for you. Oh, hey, Lindsay, lovely to see you. Do say hi. I am having a bit of an issue where my lives, people can't comment on them without upgrading, which is really annoying. And I have made a fuss to Substack, but they're still looking at it apparently. But if you are able to say hi, then please do, so I know that it's fixed. And then the last thing that you can do to make sure that your tulips keep coming back every year is, once they get to this stage, can you see how this is trying to form like a seed pod? Can you see how it's like a bit fat here? You want to take that off. You literally just, you can use secateurs or you can just pull it. You see there? Just pull that bit off, because you don't want the plant putting energy into making seeds. You want all the energy from these going back down into the bulb to feed it for next year, so you've got more chance of having a lovely flower next year. So you just go along and you just literally take the tops off like that. It's like a 5-minute activity. It's a 5-minute activity in my membership, in my horticultural therapy membership. And we just go along and we pull them off and you just compost them. And then that is going to encourage the plant to put all of the energy back into the bulb. There you go. We've got a nice little collection of them there. So yeah, if you have any questions, do pop them in the chat. Although I'm guessing you're still able to chat, which is very annoying. But if you are new to my world, then welcome. I come live every Tuesday at midday, sharing gardening tips, sharing horticultural therapy tips, sharing advice on how to incorporate gardening into your life, because we are all busy and struggling to find the time. And I also have a membership on here called The Seed, where you can come and garden along with us. We hold bi-monthly garden along sessions where we get in our gardens, we bring a digital device, so a mobile phone, and we all log on online together and we garden along together as a community. And also, if you are thinking to yourself, I quite like the idea of gardening, but I'm not really sure what I should be doing when, then coming and joining The Seed is the perfect way to start taking those first few steps into the garden, because you get given weekly activities, so you can look at the activity of the week and think, right, I'm going to go and do that in the garden. So if you would love to get into gardening and you'd love to come and do it in community with other women who are trying to juggle life, work, motherhood, potentially caring for elderly parents, and still trying to take a little bit of time for themselves to connect with nature every day, then we would love to have you come and join us. That is all from me for today. Just to say that I will be back next Tuesday, and have a great week. Happy gardening. Bye.